The Lakers played 16 games this year without Kobe Bryant. The first 15 of the season when he was out with a broken hand. Later he was suspended for one after a fight with the Knicks, and they were 12-4 in those games without Kobe Bryant. The man who starts in his place tonight, Brian Shaw, bailed them out of the Portland series. They might not be here without the veteran Shaw, but in this series he's gone cold, hitting just 3 of 18 and 0 for 7 on threes after making 7 consecutive threes in one stretch of games 6 and 7 against the Trailblazers.
Bob, without Kobe Bryant, what the Lakers have to do, they have to depend more on great one-on-one ability. They must run their offense better tonight. That's what we saw in game 2 when they were able to win.
Here's Smits with Green guarding him. Dale Davis, Shaq eyeing him. Davis with the jumper, way off, short. And taken by Ron Harper.
See, now Shaq will guard Dale Davis so that he can play underneath the basket and just be back there for his defense and shot blocking.
Davis on O'Neal. Jackson quickly with the help. They swing it around to Shaw. He misses his first, and Davis has the rebound. Here's Reggie Miller's first touch. Into Smits, but it's off his hands. People talk about Smits handling Shaq. The best thing he can do as the Lakers turn it back, the best thing he can do is score some points himself so that the net difference is smaller between what he puts up and Shaq puts up. He's not going to stop him defensively.
Not at all. And Larry Bird told Jim Gray before the game, they showed him his fouls in game 2, the little touch fouls that took him out of the game. He's got to stay away from those fouls tonight.
Jackson. Here's Glenn Rice. Jalen Rose on him in a battle of former Michigan stars. Rice off balance, banks it in. Whale of a shot.
Now he becomes their number 2 option with Kobe out with his injury. We saw that the other night with his 21 points. So he will be much more aggressive on the offensive end.
Jalen Rose picking up where he left off in L.A.
Great sign. Jalen Rose needs to get started early. He did in game 2, had a big game with 30.
Brian Shaw into the corner for Harper. Harper into the lane, left hand, way off. Jackson behind the back for Davis, who lost it to Harper. It's a 4-on-2 break for L.A. Shaw finishes it.
Now Larry Bird's not happy with that pass by Mark Jackson. A no-look behind-the-back pass. He turns the ball over. Dale Davis, even if he would have caught it, could have done nothing with it. But one of the things that hurt Indiana in that game 1 was points off turnovers. L.A. got 19 of them. The other night they turned it over 6 times only. That's why they were in the game.
And in the 2 games in L.A., as Reggie Miller fires for the first time and hits. Started to say about Mark Jackson in the 2 games in L.A., he had only 1 turnover combined. Into the paint for Shaq, but there's a whistle as he makes the catch. The officials are Ron Garrettson, Bernie Fryer, and Hugh Evans.
This is the Reggie Miller that we've grown to love in the NBA. Look as he comes off this shot, catch and shoot, the great pivot, the great footwork, and he nails that first jump shot. So both he and Jalen Rose, coming off down screens, have both hit their first shots.
Foul was on Dale Davis. Laker ball out of bounds. Smits now is on Shaq. Jackson poked it away. Miller's got it. Racing with Shaw. Lost it. Tried to put it behind his back and couldn't control it.
That's already 3 turnovers now for Indiana. They're a little revved up, playing a little too quickly right now.
AC Green. Still plenty of time. Green on the drive, and he banks it in.
You can just see the lateral movement of Rick Smits is just not there. AC Green beats him off the dribble.
And ties the game at 6. Here is Smits. Davis, and now Miller. Miller off the dribble, trying to draw a foul with that move, but the officials aren't buying it. Dale Davis is on Glenn Rice on a switch. Rice takes him into the lane. Smits bothered the shot. Rose has the rebound. Rose pulls up and hits.
I think Indiana's got to do more of floor. They've got to pick the pace of the game up, try to wear Shaq down, playing 48 minutes. Anytime they get a chance, run.
They get it to Shaq deep, and Smits can't stop him.
Well, that's like our open. When he gets it down there, it's too deep and it's too late. He'll just overpower you.
He has outscored Smits 83-16 and out-rebounded him 43-7. The catch by Rose on the shot. 3 for 3 for Jalen Rose.
They're coming off screens by Smits, guarded by Shaq. Shaq is not showing up, so if they'll take their time and set good screens, they can get those shots.
Glenn Rice. The rebound tap to Jackson. And Jackson takes it all away, and the tip is there for Reggie Miller.
Again, the run, and you see Shaq make him change into the floor. And, Bob, if you get the Lakers playing this way, a lot of times they forget about going inside to Shaquille O'Neal. That's the kind of baskets Reggie Miller wants to get himself actively involved.
Shaw drives, got to the rack, but it'll be Pacer ball.
I think they've got to come down now, maybe run a little screen roll, see if they can get Rick Smits a jump shot. Everybody else is going right now. See if you can get your big man in the game.
Talking about the differences between Shaq's totals and Smits, Shaq is on the floor, of course, virtually the entire game. Smits has averaged only 18 minutes through the first 2. Another Indiana turnover. Harper took it away from Jackson. Here's Shaw laying it in.
Now, Shaw was 3 for 18 in the first 2 games in L.A. He has 2 layups tonight. You do not want to let a struggling shooter get layups.
Smits. Davis trying to follow against 3 defenders and a foul.
Reggie Miller, one of the great shooters in the NBA. Quick release, loves to come off screens, and we're going to show you his first jump shot of the game. Great footwork, catch, and he knocks the shot in with Brian Shaw jumping at him. Now, Bob, take a look now at this form. Watch, this is great shooting form here. Kobe Bryant, left hand off the ball. Look at it there perfectly. The great follow-through. Now, look at the shot by Reggie Miller. This is something you wouldn't teach, but he shot thousands and thousands. Look at this follow-through. That just goes to show you there's a lot of different ways to put the ball in the basket. This was the same shot in college at UCLA, and you know what? 17 years ago, when I tried to recruit him out of high school, it was the same shot then. You keep shooting it long enough, you'll perfect it.
The foul before the timeout was on AC Green of the Lakers. Pacer ball from the side. Mark Jackson to Smits, backing in on Green with the jumper. That's good.
I like that. You come out of the timeout and you get your big guy involved. If he's going to be on the floor and play against Shaq right now, let him score some points. That's why he's out there.
Shaw to Shaq. And a whistle as he makes his move. A 3-second violation.
As the series has picked up, they've been much more aggressive going down to Shaquille. Remember in game 1, he got 31 field goal attempts. They had 64 points in the paint. In game 2, they brought that down to 44 points in the paint.
Reggie comes off the screen, then dumps it to Dale Davis. Davis's jumper is short. Here are the Lakers trailing by 4. Shaw's pass knocked away by Miller, but Shaq recovers it. Nice look to AC Green. Green misses the reverse. Jackson to Davis. And now Miller spotted up for 3.
They are the best three-point shooting team in the league. In game 2, they were 5 for 20. Really cost them. Big shot for Reggie Miller.
And they deflect it and steal it. Back comes Reggie. Against Shaw, the crossover. Blocked away, though, by Ron Harper, who's playing well at both ends of the floor. Shaw pulls up and misses from the head of the key. And it will be Indiana ball.
See what's happened here, though? All of a sudden, Indiana's running. What happens? Shaw comes down, he fires a quick shot. Every time that happens, they don't have to guard Shaq. That helps the Pacers.
And O'Neal has only 1 shot in the game's first 7 minutes. Harper on on Jackson, who's looking for Smits, and a whistle from Bernie Fryer.
Reggie Miller is wide open in the corner. The loose ball. Dale Davis finds him. He spots up. Now, that's the shortest three out there right near that corner. Reggie loves those corners, and then he comes right back with a steal. It energizes him and his team.
Foul was on Harper, his first. Here's Smits from the baseline. That's what they want him to do. The Lakers couldn't control it. They stepped out of bounds, and the Pacers will have it back. Larry Bird is not upset with that miss by Rick Smits. That's a shot he should take, and if he takes enough of them, he should make a decent percentage.
Question is Rick Smits discouraged with Rick Smits? Bird's a shooter. Will Rick Smits get discouraged and stop shooting it? If so, he's got to sit down.
Well, he's not discouraged yet. A whistle on the rebound, and it's against the Lakers.
See, what has happened the last couple possessions, Smits has missed jump shots, and afterwards he's been very demonstrative, like putting his arm in the air like he's shooting an invisible basketball. You missed it. Forget about it. Just keep playing.
He shot 1 for 4 so far. The foul was A.C. Green's second. He goes out, and Robert Horry replaces him.
Now, Robert Horry's plus-minus in this series and also in Portland is out of the roof. When he comes in the game, it really helps the Lakers. He's actually a starter. Green just buys minutes.
Smits again. Now 1 for 5. And Robert Horry traveled. Turnovers galore in this first quarter.
Does this remind you of our games 3 and 4 in Portland, where the Lakers went in and the crowd really energized the team? Portland got off to great starts. I talked to Frank Hamlin before the game, the assistant with the Lakers. He said, we've just got to get through this surge and stay close.
Here's Jalen Rose hitting the floater. He's hit all 4 of his field goal attempts.
And he's picked up right where he started off game 2, and that's a very positive sign.
Harper got it.
How about Ron Harper? I told him today, I went out and spoke to him before the game. I said, is that jumper still hot? He said, yes. And I said, are you having flashbacks when you played in Cleveland? And he just sort of smiled a little bit.
Well, that's what Kobe said. He shifted back into Cleveland Cavalier mode. There was a time when Harper was a 20-point-a-game scorer. Jalen Rose bumps off Rice, giving him the space for the jumper. That's his first miss. And Brian Shaw scoops it up. O'Neal pushed away from the hoop, finds Horry, and Horry lost it.
When you miss a Kobe Bryant, what do you miss? You miss a lot of things. You miss defense either against Miller or against Jalen Rose. But in moments like this, what you also miss is a guy who can create a shot and get it for you. But I remember in game 3, he came out and had like 14 points in the first quarter to keep the Lakers close in that game. They're missing that from him right now. They're searching for some offense.
The Lakers have 6 turnovers already. Indiana 4. Mark Jackson, Dale Davis, Smits.
When you're struggling, get an easy one. That should put a smile on his face.
Harper comes to the front court and asks for time, and now he and Jackson exchange shoves. And they're both going to get a technical, it appears. Looks like a double technical called by Hugh Evans. Here's the exchange of shoves between Harper and Jackson, and then the explanation from official Hugh Evans.
Double technical. Go ahead, right quick.
I made the call. He jabs the ball in my chest. What do you want me to do?
And you responded. I would have gotten him. You responded. That makes it a double.
Well, what he's saying there to Mark Jackson is if you had not done anything in return, it would have been Harper's technical foul. Now, you say that doesn't mean anything, offsetting technicals. It does mean something because another one and both of them would be gone. So they have no room now to pick up another technical foul.
By the way, earlier in the game, There was a foul that was actually on A.C. Green, initially given to Ron Harper. So in truth, A.C. Green is now on the bench with 3 fouls, not 2.
Take a look at this lineup now. I thought we might see this. Sam Perkins and Smits together. What does this do? That means that Shaquille O'Neal must guard one big guy who can shoot. He can't hide now on Dale Davis. Both big guys can shoot. Let's see if this works.
Here's Harper, 5 on the 24. Harper with the jumper. The rebound to Mark Jackson, who gets a lot of rebounds for a backcourt guy.
See, now they'll get Shaq involved in screen roll because he's guarding Smits. Let's see if Smits can pop out and shoot a little jump shot here.
Perkins already got up on him. 5 seconds to shoot, and Miller will. Rice has the rebound for L.A.
Look how much more aggressive the double teams are here at home. Rotations quicker.
Shaw for 3. Back come the Pacers, up 21-12. Shaq's on Smits. He hooks over him. He needs that.
You know, he had that shot in Los Angeles. He started out in game 1, missed his first 3, but Shaq's not trying to block that shot. If he'll take his time, he can get that shot off.
Here's O'Neal. Driving baseline, and Smits hacks him.
Shaquille O'Neal is playing behind the post. Rick Smits, if he'll get his rhythm, 1 dribble, 2 dribble, little jump hook, and Shaq's not even jumping. So if he takes his time, he'll be able to get that shot. Now here's Shaq once again, deep post position, and if you're going to foul him, foul him. Make him make free throws. Now, Bob, very important. How he shoots them early will decide how often Bird chooses to foul him.
As of this moment, Smits has outscored Shaq 6-zip. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Doug, you were just talking about the double teams and how aggressive they are. Shaq was preparing for this game. Before the game, he was watching a tape of all the post stuff that he had last game so he could try to figure out where those double teams are coming from. And it looks like he's all that information.
Ahmad, thanks. 1 of 2 for Shaq, which is pretty much the way he shot free throws throughout the playoffs at about a 50% clip. Smits gets it back, tries it again, and the bank is closed for him. But he's showing more aggressiveness here at home than he did in the first 2 games in L.A. Here's O'Neal against 2 defenders who are powerless to stop him. Jackson was over to try and help Smits, but once he got it that deep, all he could do was pray that he'd miss the shot.
Well, Smits doesn't have the foot speed to be able to get back. Shaq knows that. He just tried to beat him up the floor, and he did.
Smits misses the jumper.
Had a lot of good shots here in the first quarter. I like the fact that he's continuing to shoot the basketball and take that shot.
O'Neal out of the double to Shaw. Cross-court Harper. Baseline jumper. Didn't look like he beat the 24-second clock, and in fact, they called the violation.
Got to make sure here now the Pacers recognize we have about 3.7 seconds to go. Surprised Larry Bird doesn't bring in Travis Best to give another quick player out there on the floor with this last possession. So they try to throw. Here comes Austin Crocer. He's going to try to get in the game to give him another quicker player. He's going to go in for Rick Smits. So now Shaq is going to have to play Smits. So what happens? Phil Jackson counters. He's going to bring Travis Knight in for quickness, or we'll play Crocer. Travis Knight will slide over and play Perkins here on the basketball. That's, again, how you have to watch the matchups at the end of a quarter. This is a big possession.
Smits sits down having shot 3 for 9, so he was active in the first quarter. Perkins gets off a 3 over Knight at the buzzer. And the Pacers have to be content with an 8-point lead after 1.
Well, if you're Larry Bird, you have to be very happy. Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose have both gotten off to great starts. The rest of the team is struggling. These two guys have 15 of the 23 points, and you like to see them get some easy ones. Here, Mark Jackson misses the driving layup. Reggie follows it up and tips it in. Reggie needed this. He was only 1 for 8 in the games in LA from 3. Squares up and knocks down the open 3. And Jalen Rose getting off to a good start also, coming off screens and hitting the open jumper, doing what he does best, a little unorthodox running left-hand jumper in the lane. So you ask your 2 best players, your 2 best scorers to get you off to a good start, and they have done that. I have said before, I think these 2 guys need to get at least their average in the playoffs, 42 points or more, if they're going to win here today.
Here's Harper looking for Ori, and now Shaq trying to get it to Harper. The Pacers knock it out of bounds.
And they're very lucky that time because the Pacer defense on the backside had fallen asleep. If that pass had not been tipped, Harper would have had a layup. We see Mark Jackson sitting, Travis Best in. He has really struggled in the 2 games in LA. I talked to the Pacers coaching staff. They said he has done that in a couple series, but he's gotten going. Let's see if he can do it today.
Rick Fox releases on the inbound and misses. And here's Best to bring it out of the backcourt. Jackson had 5 assists in the first quarter as the Pacers took an 8-point lead.
See, here's one thing that Travis Best gets him in trouble. If he dribbles too much, the clock's against him now.
Reggie with the shake move and a drive.
Shaquille O'Neal was out high on the floor. He was nowhere to be found as Reggie Miller drove the ball to the basket. Without him, Robert Horry's the only other guy that can block a shot.
Indiana by 10. Shaq in the paint. Fisher's on Best. The clock is down to 10. The lob goes to Rose, and a whistle from Hugh Evans.
Again, you love to get layups if you're struggling with your shot. And Reggie, quick drive, and you see Robert Horry can't get over there. Kosher does a nice job. And then Shaquille O'Neal, once he gets deep in the lane right there, there's nothing Sam Perkins can do. And Shaq with a little jump hook. Let's see if Shaq can get some more field goal attempts in this period.
Foul was on Rick Fox, his first. 3 seconds to shoot. Does Perkins know that? Does Crozier know that? He misses as the buzzer sounds.
Indiana is not a team that plays well against that shot clock. They don't have one-on-one players other than Rose. They got to execute quicker in their offense.
Here's Shaq, 3 seconds to shoot. His jumper is short, and Rose takes it. Good defense by Indiana. Here's Crozier. Off the fake, he drives the lane. Out to Reggie. Moves in a bit closer and drills it.
Home, sweet home. Reggie Miller loves to shoot in this building. Off to a great start.
He's hit 5 of 8. He scored 11, and the Lakers ask for time. They trail by 10. No one needs to be told that Indiana is basketball territory, whether it's high school or college. And even in the pros, before coming to the NBA, the Pacers played in 5 of the 9 ABA finals in that league's 9-year history, and they won 3 titles. They were, in many respects, the signature franchise of the league till Dr. J came along. And O'Neal travels. He went up and down and did nothing with it.
Looked like he tried to make the pass over the top, and at the last moment, the passing lane closed down. So again, we see much harder traps right now going at Shaq. Better rotations on defense.
Here's Reggie, guarded by Shaw. And Bernie Fryer says, hold on. That's number 2 on Rick Fox. Miller spinning on Shaw. Off-balance shot, and he can't hit it. Shaw chases the rebound down. Rick Fox had it poked away by Jalen Rose. Ball still loose. Fox recovers it, lobs it for Shaq with the emphatic finish.
Those are those loose balls that you got to come up with. Shaq gets the 2 points. He's been struggling down there on the block because they've had a difficult time getting him the ball without about 3 guys around him.
Travis Best off Crozier's hands. Best saves it to Miller. Miller's baseline jumper. What's up with that?
Well, Reggie Miller's very upset as he tried to kick out his legs to draw the foul on Brian Shaw. No call. Remember now the possession before he tried to draw a foul. But watch Reggie here as he kicks himself out. If you get out of that verticality, they won't call it to you. He felt like he jumped in. I don't know. I think that that's a foul on Brian Shaw.
Miller doesn't get the whistle. The Lakers get the ball. Fisher gets it into Shaq, passes out of the double team back to Fisher, then takes a return and tries to power in, but there's a whistle before the shot.
Well, he just wears you down. He punishes you. The ball keeps going into him. He bangs you. He kicks it out. It goes back in once again, and Sam Perkins is doing his best. Look at him. He just delivers a little bit of a blow, rocks it back, and there's the little foul.
And it's Perkins first. There he is trying to contend with him again. Shaq with that quick spin, misses the jumper, and Rose flies in for the rebound. Perkins hands it to Miller. Miller takes the contact, hits the basket, and will come to the line.
Reggie's got to be very careful. He threw his fist at Hubert Evans, the referee, because he had got what he thought 2 no-count calls. But here comes Reggie cutting to the basket once again. Sacrifices that little skinny body of his to throw it into Shaquille O'Neal, and see him goes over to Hubert Evans, and Hubert Evans watched him the whole time.
Took it right to Shaquille O'Neal, who's built like a building, while Reggie is put together like a 1-iron.
You got to love his tenacity. You know, 3 straight times he took the ball to the basket, and that's what the Pacers have to do. They've got to get to the line. They're the best free throw shooting team in the NBA, so you got to get there.
The 3-point play increases the lead to 11. And Miller has scored 14.
And he and Jalen Rose have gone the entire way right now.
Brian Shaw out to Fisher for 3. Rose poked it away from O'Neal, out of bounds off the Pacers.
See, I like what Jalen Rose is doing. The possession before, he went back and got the rebound. This one, he tried to get it too. You've got bigger guards out there with Rose and Reggie Miller. Your guards have to rebound. You can't just ask Perkins and Smits and Crozier to do it because they're not good rebounders. Those big guys are not good rebounders. Your guards have to help you.
Robert Horry had some daylight. Crozier didn't get up on it, but Horry didn't take the shot. They go to O'Neal, his turnaround in the lane. Nice touch on it.
As the game slows down, if the Pacers don't keep the tempo, Shaq is going to get more and more touches in a half court than he will in an open floor game. They've got to keep the pace of the game up.
O'Neal has made 5 of 7, and he scored 11. And play is stopped. Fisher has that who me look on his face, but it is him.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal has really perfected this shot. He loves to catch the ball, one bounce, that little hop step, and then he squares those shoulders and shoots that little floating shot in the lane. That's really become his pet move from that side of the floor. Either that, or he swings out and shoots the jump hook and uses that backboard.
Perkins has gone out. Dale Davis has returned for Indiana. Travis Best with that floater.
Now that play was made by Jalen Rose. He screened 2 guys on the play. No weak side help from the Lakers. Phil Jackson cannot like that, letting Best get a layup.
Rick Fox hits the 3. Brings the Lakers to within 8. Crozier. He answers immediately with a 3 of his own.
He played, I thought, the best 2 games back-to-back he played all season long. He had the one great game against New York in game 1 with 22. He did it twice in a row out in L.A. Welcome sign here, hitting that jumper.
An illegal defense is called on the Pacers. There are 37 NBA players from countries other than the United States currently on rosters, and as you know, the popularity of the league is ever expanding. Available in a multitude of broadcast forms other than English. Let's listen in on the Italian broadcast.
Qualcuno è andato nell'NBA, nessuno però un campione. Qui nell'Indiana sono dei miti, forse oserei dire più di Reggie Miller e Jalen Rose.
Ah sì, perché non pensate che questo sia l'avvenimento principale della stagione, dice grazie.
Which one's doing the play-by-play and which one's doing the color?
I don't know, but I know they were talking about Jalen Rose and Reggie Miller. I do know that.
Yeah, they don't change the names. The names remain the same.
Wasn't I sharp to pick that up, Bob?
Yeah, that was brilliant. 35-24, the Pacers in front about midway through the second quarter. Here's Shaq through the lane. Might have gotten away with a travel, but he missed the shot in any case. Crozier on the move. Austin Crozier misses, but he was fouled.
When you're at home, run. Push the ball whenever you get an opportunity. And Austin Crozier is doing that. Look at him outrun Travis Knight. Derek Fisher cannot get there. And now he's going to get to that free throw line. Get yourself going in the game by running.
Crozier with that unorthodox free throw style was perfect at the line in game 2 in LA. Misses his first here. And you can log on to NBA.com and follow the Lakers and Pacers with Sync TV, the ultimate online companion to each NBA television broadcast. It provides fans with real-time stats, polls, and the ability to interact with special guest hosts and other fans online. Tonight you can chat live with Eric Snow of the 76ers. NBA.com Sync TV, your cutting-edge way to follow the NBA Finals 2000. Here's Rick Fox. Jalen Rose is on him. 3 seconds to shoot. O'Neal with the hook. Got his own rebound. And hits the follow.
You just bounce off of him. I mean, Dale Davis, a big, strong man. Shaq just put his arm on him, and he rocked him back.
Crozier to the baseline. Contact with Travis Knight and a foul on Knight of the Lakers.
It's so hard to do this, but when Shaq shoots the ball, rather than try to rebound it, you've got to turn and face him and keep him off the boards. When you don't, he just goes right over the top of you, 3 guys around him, and he just squirts that ball back in the basket. Bob, all the coaches talk about when Shaq shoots the basketball, face guard him and try to keep him away from the basket. But it's so hard to do because that's not your natural instincts. Your natural instincts are to turn and try to go rebound it.
Mark Jackson, who's been around the NBA for 13 years, meaning the beginning of his career overlapped the end of Kareem's, but he never played against Wilt or Russell. But Jackson, who knows something about the history of the league, says flatly Shaquille O'Neal is the best center who has ever played the game. There's no question he's among them. Whether he's the very best, I'm sure you could get a dispute from a number of different people. Into the lane to Shaq, who seemed like he was camped there for more than 3 seconds without a call. He misses the shot, and back come the Pacers. Miller for 3. The rebound was poked away from Best by Shaw, who got him over the back.
Now, Larry Bird has decided to go with Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose this entire first half. Normally, he goes to his bench more than this. He's at home. Games on TV, obviously a lot of timeouts, but will these guys wear down a little bit? They're in a good rhythm right now, or will Larry Bird decide maybe to try to rest one of them for a minute, then come back in with the other one? We'll have to watch what happens here.
Travis Knight out, Robert Horry in as we check with Jim Gray.
Well, Bob and Doug, I talked to Larry Bird about that very subject. He said Reggie Miller will be on the court tonight regardless of foul trouble, shooting trouble, anything. I've got to have him out on the court as well as Jalen Rose. So look for an awful lot of minutes tonight and very, very little rest time. Bob?
Okay, Jim, the free throws by Best give the Pacers a 14-point lead as we move inside 5 minutes. Fox knocked away in a foul.
Well, that was a great pass. I don't see how that got through there. Jalen Rose very unhappy as he goes over to pick up the loose ball. Guy's getting a little chippy, and that's what happens in playoff series. The longer it goes, you get aggravated. You see this guy over and over. He cracks you in game 2. You're going to get him back in game 3. The ball goes a little loose. You wrestle around over there for it. You want it. Rick Fox is going to come over there. That's what happens in long series, Bob. You see a guy 7 times in 2 weeks in these kind of environment. That's tough.
Well, these teams played twice all season. Now they've played 3 times in 5 days, with who knows how many more to come. Rick Fox, a Celtic rookie in Larry Bird's last season in Boston, 1992, makes 1 of 2. Goes for the steal. Rose spins behind him, gives it up to Best. Now Rose is free, head of the key. The follow by Dale Davis.
I like that action, though. Dribble penetration. Best gets in there. He could have forced it. Gave it to Jalen Rose, and then Dale Davis with a nice tip.
O'Neal powers up and scores.
You just can't keep him out of the lane. You have to have such good ball pressure that you can't throw it in so quickly. That's when you'll get the 3-second violation. You got to pressure the ball enough so he has to get out of the lane.
Reggie again. Another miss. Davis chases it to the side, but can't save it. Miller is now 6 for 13. He's hit 1 of 4 3-pointers.
Rick Fox has a seat, and Glenn Rice will come back into the game. Now, remember, he is their second option now rather than their third with Kobe being down. Let's see if they try to get him involved here in this last 4 minutes of the half.
Here's Brian Shaw. Off-balance shot. And the rebound to Dale Davis, who that time had Shaq boxed out.
That was a great box out, Bob. What a great call.
Jalen Rose, and Rice took it away from him. Rose argues for the call. Meanwhile, the action continues at the other end. They go into Shaq, who is fouled. Number 2 on Dale Davis. Pacers are not yet over the limit. The Lakers are.
And Larry Bird has to be very careful. Dale Davis, their most physical post presence. He cannot get his 3rd foul here.
Shaq with the screen. Shaw to Ori. Into O'Neal. Against Davis, who made him miss. Davis bodied up and made the shot more difficult. Austin Crozier is double teamed. Jalen Rose pumps up a 3. Fisher on the run at the other end is walloped by Austin Crozier and isn't a bit happy about it.
Now remember, those 2 guys got taunting fouls against each other in game 2. Remember the little loose ball, and they looked at each other, stared each other down. They both got taunting technicals. Now watch this here. Travis Best actually going to screen his own guy here, and here's Shaquille O'Neal. Doesn't come over to block the shot, so weak side defense is not there, and Phil Jackson sure does not like this.
No layups. It's 3 layups later. Again, I say no layup. Shaq, you got to block the basket.
3 layups later. Again, I say no layups.
Well, remember now, Reggie Miller said before the game, without Kobe, we cannot let these guys get 42 points like they did in game 2. Well, today, look what they have 4. And right now, as Derek Fisher's going to the line, it's the flagrant foul. He'll shoot 2, and they'll get possession of the ball on the sideline. Now, the Indiana has really dominated this first half. Let's see here in this last 2:44, can they keep a double-digit deficit for the Lakers going in? I think that would be very important, Bob, because they have outplayed them here in the first half.
This is the sort of thing that can sometimes signal a shift in momentum. You're doing well, and you get a flagrant. It's a possible 4-point trip down the floor, or 5 if they hit a 3 for the Lakers. Here's Rice at the foul line. Off-balance shot and a tough one, and he put it down, and it is a 4-point trip for the Lakers.
He has got to be more aggressive. They're going into Shaq, but he's doing a lot of standing. Glenn Rice is vital. They need 20 points from him today, and the Pacers know that.
Horry's on Crozier. Crozier with the move and the reverse.
He is so confident right now. He has the quickness on Horry. And those 2 games in L.A. have really skyrocketed him right now. He thinks he can take him off the dribble at any time.
And it appears he may be right. 8 points for Crozier in this first half. Robert Horry is able to answer. Here is Best, who according to plan has played the second quarter. Jackson played the first. Miller splits 2 defenders but lost the ball. It's a 3-on-2 break, and Horry is there to finish it.
That's what I was talking about now. It's down to 7. As strongly as Indiana has played, the Lakers are making a push. That's what great teams do at the end of quarters and halves.
It was 15. The Lakers are on a 10-2 run. Travis Best puts a halt to it.
That's a big hoop for Travis Best. We've talked about his struggles. He's got a layup here in the game. Now the little jump shot. Now Indiana needs a stop.
The crowd right now about as quiet as it's been in this game. And Shaw hits the layup on the drive, and again it's a 7-point difference.
Where is the weak side awareness of the Pacers? Guys are driving down the lane. Nobody's even seeing them, Bob. You can't let a guy get to the basket like that in this kind of game.
Best again. Good again. Best, who was off his game in Los Angeles both nights, has scored 8 points and hit 3 of 3 from the floor in this first half. Lost it to Miller. 3-on-1. Best in the middle. Back to Reggie. Lays it in.
To be a delay of game on Reggie Miller there. He knocked that ball loose so that the Lakers couldn't run right back at them.
And you know where this can affect things? You know how at the end of the game you purposely take a delay of game in a close situation, ball out of bounds to see what the other team is doing? They don't have that luxury now because it's a technical on the second delay of game.
That's exactly right. And Reggie did not want them to get a fast break. Shot clock turned off. Big possession here for the Lakers.
They got it back to double digits at 11.
If they score here, they can get it under double digits. That would be big for the Lakers.
Shaw lost it to Rose, who glances at the clock. There's still time. He takes it in and scores. Do they give him the continuation? Yes, they do, plus the foul.
Big sequence of plays here for the Indiana Pacers. Reggie Miller gets a layup, and here the second leading scorer in the playoff, Jalen Rose, up and under the foul. Turnovers here have hurt the Lakers, as the Pacers look like they're going to finish this half strong. This is a big minute and a half here for the Pacers going in.
Huge. A 15-point lead had been cut to 7, and if Rose makes this free throw, they've got almost all of it back. It'll be 14.
When you look up there, the Lakers only 39 points. You know, the Lakers might execute better without Kobe Bryant, but I tell you, they miss his ability to be able to get his own shot right now.
Fisher near midcourt. Off to Rice for 3. How about that? 7/10 of a second.
How is the best shooter on the Lakers wide open?
I take that to be a rhetorical question because I don't know the answer.
What are you thinking if you're the Pacers? I mean, you cannot leave Glenn Rice. This is their biggest three-point shooter. Look at him. He's wide open. I don't know how Reggie lost him. Reggie was not shooting the free throw. It was Jalen Rose. They should have been Velcroed to Glenn Rice on that last possession.
So instead of 14, it's 11. Reggie Miller shot 7 of 14, scored 16 first-half points, and he's with Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Until that last three-pointer, how important was it for you guys to withstand that run? They cut it from 15 to 7.
Well, we knew they were going to go inside to Shaq, and I think we've been doing a good job of conversion down. But I'm upset with myself that we let that three-pointer go at the end of the half. We thought we had really regained the momentum, and then Rice hits a big shot like that. But, you know, we got to do a better job in the second half.
Now, neither you nor Jalen were able to get any rest. You played the entire 24 minutes. Can you expend the kind of energy you had and have your legs in the second half if you have to go 48?
Well, we're going to have to. You know, I'll rest when I'm dead. You know, this is the most important game for us, so we got to get back into the series. So I don't want to come out. Run me till I'm ragged.
Without Kobe in there, has it made it easier offensively for the Pacers?
No. Shaw and Ron Harper are doing a great job defensively. We're just getting some easy looks, but I'm sure they'll step it up in the second half.
Reggie, thank you. Good luck in the second half. 16 for Reggie. Back to you, Bob.
Ahmad Rashad back in Indiana where the Lakers trail it by 11. Phil Jackson telling his team at halftime they got to play harder, play smarter, cut down on the turnovers. He said he got them right where they want them because they're playing badly right now, but they keep letting them hang around. They should be able to do something with that. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks very much, Mott. Larry Bird told his team stay aggressive. He likes the way they're hitting the boards. A 21-13 advantage, 9 offensive rebounds. Very pleased with Dale Davis. He's most pleased that their guys are not in foul trouble and that he'll have all of his weapons in the second half. And Jalen Rose and Reggie Miller, he's concerned that they're going to be tired, but he said it's the most important game of the year. If they have to go 48, they will. Bob?
And it starts well for the Pacers as the Lakers turn it over.
That's a big turnover because it would have given the Lakers a chance to go 5 straight points. The 3 here to end the half and 2. That would have been a big basket. Let's see if the Pacers can capitalize.
Smits goes to work right away, but doesn't get the bounce.
Now, if AC Green is going to guard Rick Smits, he's got to score against him. He's got to force Shaquille O'Neal to come over and have to play him and not hide on Dale Davis.
Here's Glenn Rice looking for Shaq. Deep catch surrounded by 3 defenders and a foul. It's Smits, and it's his second.
See, now what Rick Smits has done in this series is getting bad fouls. That right there is a foul that he's got to stay away from. They switch Dale Davis over on him. They do not want him to pick up his 3rd quickly.
O'Neal the screen, Harper the drive. He returns it to Shaq. Jump hook way off. And it will be Pacer ball.
This is where the Pacers have to get a little quick spurt. Looks like the Lakers are a little sluggish coming out of this half. This is a little run right here that they could use right now.
Miller off the screen, left alone, misses it. Can't ask for a better look than that. Almost too open. He hesitated for a second. Here's Rice. Before the move, the basket doesn't count. There's a foul. It's Jalen Rose's second.
Will fatigue be a factor? Larry Bird is taking a chance here tonight. He knows Rose and Miller he needs on the floor. Can they play all 48?
Rice, short, air ball. Davis saves it into Rose. Now remember, this is a quick turnaround. Just 1 day in between and a long trip from LA to Indiana. If they can gut it out here, though, they're at home with a 2-day break between games 3 and 4. Game 4 is Wednesday night. Smits had it knocked away. He recovers it. Still plenty of time to shoot. Rose has a 3, but can't put it down. Harper on the run. Misses the up and under. Davis rebounds. Jackson pushes it up the floor. Mark Jackson all the way, but can't hit it with AC Green playing the D on him. Glenn Rice out to Shaq. There's AC Green glancing at the shot clock. It's now down to 7. O'Neal with 5 seconds to shoot. Harper with the fake and the pop. Just before the 24-second clock, Shaq recovers it, powers in, and tack on the foul.
So that's the upsetting thing right there. If you're Larry Bird, not only do you give up the offensive rebound, but you give up a foul and a basket. That's Smith's third. And watch what happens here. Shaquille O'Neal is going to get the ball, goes up strong. There's the foul by Smith. If you're going to get that foul, you cannot let him have the basket. And once again, early foul trouble in this quarter. He's picked up 2 here. We played less than 4 minutes.
After shooting an NBA record 39 free throws in game 2, that was just the 3rd foul shot attempted by Shaq today. He's missed 2 of the 3. What was really galling about that offensive rebound and foul, it comes at the back end of almost a 24-second violation with Indiana playing good defense. Rose is free. Jackson trying for the tip. O'Neal comes over. There's contact and a foul.
Dale Davis got the foul against Glenn Rice. So the referees need to get in between these 2 guys. Again, things getting real chippy here. This is the 3rd time that these teams have played each other in a very short period of time.
I could read Glenn Rice's lips. He's saying to Davis, come on, there's nothing here. Come on, let's play. And Davis is pressing the issue.
Well, Davis is frustrated because when you have to play against Shaq and get knocked around, when you get a smaller guy, you want to take it out on him. He's getting all the punishment. Now there's Rick Smith just picking up his 4th foul.
Oh, that's brutal, that one.
Now, that's a bad foul. You know, you just can't make that foul. 3 fouls here, Bob. We played about 3 minutes, and now he's going to have to go sit down. This is the same thing we've seen the entire series. When he gets 1, it seems like he gets 2 or 3 in a hurry. I mean, AC Green's going to cut through the basket. He just steps over and chucks him right there. That's a foul. You cannot do that this year. You've got to let the guy cut. More importantly, but it's just already the 15th foul. They're going to be shooting free throws here the last 9 minutes of this half. This quarter.
A year ago, that would not have been a foul, but they changed the rule, as you said, to try to open the game up a little more, do away with some of that contact. Theoretically, should be a help to players like Reggie Miller coming off those screens and trying to avoid being chucked and elbowed as they go through.
And I think it has opened up the game. You have seen more slashing and cutting. Now, again, Rick Smith is on the floor with 4 fouls. If he's going to be out there, you got to go to him, and he's got to score.
And it's back to 7 again. It was 14 just seconds before the end of the first half. Reggie against Shaw. Jumper over him.
Reggie watched that whole time. He saw Shaq underneath the basket. He knew he could not go all the way, so he got where he wanted and pulled up and hit the shot.
O'Neal double team. Has it back from Shaw. Davis trying to defense him. Made him take a shot that Indiana will accept. But if Shaq is going to hit it, well, all you can do is shrug your shoulders.
That was great defense, and that's why he's the MVP in the league and the most dominant player in the league.
Jackson looking for Miller. Shaw with the contact on Reggie, and it's Brian Shaw who commits the foul. That's his 2nd.
Now, Brian Shaw is a good defender. He's about 6'6", 6'7". He's got long arms. He's quick. He can bother Reggie Miller's shot. So you can see now he's playing against Reggie Miller in the absence of Kobe Bryant. We saw Harper against him a lot in games 1 and 2.
Harper cuts in front and steals it. Now he's got it back, pulls up, and banks it in.
Larry Bird's got to be totally upset with Rick Smith right now. He's gotten fouls, throws a bad pass there. And Larry Bird's trying to give himself a chance to play out of this. And the longer it goes, the worse it's getting for Rick Smith right now.
Pacer lead is only 5. Rose, right into the contact. It'll still be Indiana ball. There was no foul, but the Lakers touched it last.
Absolutely no place here to finish, but I like what Jalen Rose is doing. He's taking the ball to the basket. Rice got that from behind. Shouldn't be a new 24-second shot clock, I don't think. That ball did not hit the basket. I don't think anybody had possession of the ball.
Right, and obviously there wasn't a foul. And in fact, Ron Garrettson is saying, stop here for a second. Let's straighten this out. The Laker bench called it to their attention. And now the shot clock is reset at 18. Jalen Rose can't believe that Glenn Rice didn't foul him. So Rose takes the shot and works out better for him. A 2-pointer just inside the line. looking for O'Neal. Back to Shaq in the paint, jump hook.
See what's happening, the Pacers are double teaming. They're allowing that ball to come back to the passer. The double team guy's got to get out there. Shaq is reposting. They're going right back to him. They've got to deny that pass out of the double team.
Miller, the fake, the lunging one-hander, good off the glass.
Keep attacking the basket. Don't settle for long jump shots. Put the onus on the officials to blow that whistle and get you to the line.
Miller has 20 to lead the Pacers. Shaq leads LA with 21. Harper to the foul line. His pass stolen by Jackson. Miller on the wing to Rose. Jalen Rose got him.
This is when they're at their best. Get some turnovers, run out, and score before the Lakers defense can get set.
And they pump it back up to 9. Around the perimeter is Shaw for 3. Rose claims it for Indiana. Here's Reggie to the baseline. Slings it out to Jackson for 3.
The Pacers have made an adjustment. They're screening differently. They're screening Reggie Miller so he can get free on the baseline. It's collapsing the defense, and now they're kicking out. A great adjustment by the Pacers. Playoffs are all about adjustments. The Lakers like to send baseline, so you screen baseline. Reggie gets around, and watch what happens now to the defense. He gets inside, and you can take a look at it. Look where all their defense is, and look at this spacing for the wide-open jump shot. That's good inside, outside basketball. Playoff adjustments, and they get the score.
You heard Larry Bird saying at halftime through Jim Gray that he planned to play Reggie Miller every minute of this game, if that's the way it turns out. He played 46 minutes in one of the games against the Knicks and 45 in another in the playoffs, but he has never played every tick of the clock in any game this year. Shot clock is down to 5. Smith's poked it away. Rose comes up with it. Miller's ahead of him, but Jalen takes it all the way himself and slams it down. And the lead is back up to 14.
And it's done with turnovers and open court play. More importantly, your best players are getting layups. Now Rick Smits is getting ready to come out. He cannot get his 5th foul on this play.
Glenn Rice. Instead, it may have been Shaq who got the foul over Smits. And it was O'Neal's 2nd. And you're right, Smits goes out.
Well, you can see he was going to come out. Rice misses an open 3. Nice job blocking out that time by Smits. And the opponents have always said if you'll block Shaq out, he will come over the back. That time he was called for the foul.
And another Laker foul. This time it's Derek Fisher. That'll be his 3rd.
See, what you're getting today from Indiana also, Jackson and Best have both played well in this game. That did not happen in L.A. Mark Jackson played well. They got nothing out of Best. Today, Best played 12 minutes in that first half, was 3 of 3, had a couple free throws, a couple assists, and 8 points off the bench.
The Lakers aren't over the limit yet. In fact, they have one more to give before they will be. Pacers are long since beyond the foul limit in this 3rd quarter. Mark Jackson finds Perkins spotted up for 3. And Indiana is on a 12-0 run.
Mark Jackson loves to post up against smaller guards. He had Fisher in the post. They had the double. They needed a big shot there from Sam Perkins.
Deep to O'Neal. Ball still loose. Horry rips it away from Jackson. Goes up with a shot. It's snatched out of the air by Davis. That's goaltending.
Dale Davis went up. He is about 1.5 feet over the basket. Look at this. That's an easy call. But you know what? He said, you know what? You're struggling to score right now. We're not going to let anything go in the basket.
And so the lead is 15.
There's a post up again for Jackson. If they double, look for the shooters.
He backs Fisher down. And the foul will be called on Fisher of the Lakers. And that'll be 4.
See, if Shaq goes back to help on this is where Perkins will get freed up. Remember the old Mark Jackson rule, the back down that they put in the 5-second count, so he has to be aware of that. They should go right back to Jackson again to see if he can get the post up.
Here it is on the other side of the lane. Jackson off the dribble into the paint. Shaq coming over to help. Jackson puts it up anyway and nearly hit it. Here's Harper filling the lane and laying it in. It's been a game of surges. But just when the Lakers make a move, Indiana pulls it together again. And LA has never led at any time in this game.
The difference is Indiana's getting timely shooting today. They didn't get that in Los Angeles.
Rose on the crossover and the drive. Got it again.
How good was that? Jalen Rose, terrific offensive player, wants to be a point guard, wants the ball in his hands, gets to the basket, that little floating left-handed hook. That was a great play.
19 for Jalen. The lob to Shaq underneath. He loses everybody and scores.
You really can't front Shaq down there because there's no weak side help, and you don't want to give him a layup. The worst thing you do is foul him and make him make a couple free throws.
Jackson lost the dribble. Fisher diving to try to save it. It's still Pacer ball. Jackson and Fisher went down in a scramble for a loose ball in front of the Laker bench, and then as people moved in, Hugh Evans had to separate things. Here's the ball squirting loose. They dive after it. They award it to Indiana. Look at that. Fisher tried to throw it off Jackson after the play was really dead, and that probably annoyed Mark. And then Reggie Miller and others came over to take a look.
Reggie, time out. Reggie, get out of there. Get out. Okay. Because I don't want nothing to happen to you. I don't want nothing to happen to you. That's why I'm grabbing you.
All right, there's 1 versus 10. I got to come over,
I got the right guy.
Good refereeing there by Hubert Evans. Now remember, Ron Harper and Mark Jackson got technicals early in the game. Another technical, either one of those guys, and they're thrown out. So that's good officiating. You don't want something to happen in something like that. But Bob, again, when a team starts getting in a desperate situation, having to win a basketball game, you see all these emotions start to surface.
Larry Bird goes to his bench for the first time in this game. Derek McKee is in. He delivers the pass to Reggie Miller. Miller against Harper. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Reggie backs up and fires.
You think he likes shooting here at home?
He's hit 10 of 18 and he scored 22. The lead is back to 15.
And he's buying some time for Jalen Rose right now with McKee, letting him rest with a little bit of a lead. He'll come back to start the quarter.
Ball poked away. Reggie wins the race to it. Pulls up for 3. He loves to do that. To try and break the opponent's back, just like his coach Larry Bird would do in the middle of a run for the Celtics. They're looking for Shaq to try to stem the tide. Jackson reaches in and commits the foul, trying to help.
Well, you call it, though, Bob, when he picks up this loose ball, Reggie's got his eyes on the target, and he's going to come down, and he finds that three-point line, pulls up. Ron Harper has to give him some space, and he knocks in the 3, just like his coach used to love that dagger when he got a team on the ropes, and Reggie likes it. You see the little trot back down the floor, his arms in the air signifying three-point shot. And Shaquille O'Neal here will shoot 2 free throws. Only shot 3 free throws the entire game here. Remember, after 39 in game 2.
Unlike the supportive crowd in LA, he's shooting this into the teeth of a Conseco Fieldhouse throng, doing everything it can to distract and annoy him. He makes his second free throw in 5 attempts. The lead is 17 as we move inside 2 minutes.
Larry Bird told his team, Jim Gray said last time during the timeout, finish this quarter strong.
Miller shaking on Harper. Off the dribble. And misses off the glass, and there's a foul on the rebound. It's on O'Neal, his 3rd.
Basketball or any other sport, the game goes to the aggressor. And Indiana is the most aggressive team today. Phil Jackson knows that. He's been in a lot of championship experiences. And his team right now just about a half step behind the Pacers on almost every possession here in this third period.
Derek McKee at the line misses the first in game 2. I had the wrong alma mater for him. Said he was from Clemson. He actually attended Alabama. Don't want there to be any confusion when they collect for the scholarship fund.
Well, he's a terrific defender, and that's what he's out there for right now, to give him some defense.
Here's Ori. Quick first step on Crozier, and he slams it down. Crozier has done that to him a few times in this series, and now Ori returns the favor.
I think he surprised him there. Looked like Ori was looking over the scenery there to pass the ball. Just one quick dribble and a strong finish.
McKee had it knocked away by Fox, but they whistle Fox for the foul.
You know, as a coach, you work with your guys. Can you get to the basket with one dribble from the three-point line? Well, you know what? Robert Ori can get there. That means you don't have to take that other bounce. You extend, and you get all the way to the basket. You see Robert Ori went about 25 feet with one dribble and extension.
Tomorrow night on NBC Nightly News, 15 million people suffer from the disease, including the Knicks' Chris Dudley. But now there's an extraordinary breakthrough treatment for diabetes that would do away with insulin injection. A special lifeline tomorrow on NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Here's Derek Fisher. Thought about a three. Here's the fake into the lane. Gives it up to Shaq. He was fouled and puts it in. The basket will count, giving him 26.
How many times have we seen that befuddled look by players? They think they fouled Shaq. Watch, Derek McKee thinks, I fouled him right there. I grabbed him. You better get both arms wrapped around him and not let him get that ball up. He is so powerful, he goes right through that.
Can't complete the three-point play, and McKee rebounds.
Post up once again here for Mark Jackson. Perkins will spot up for three here.
There he is. He's out there. Ori's trying to get back to him. And the call goes against the Pacers. Jackson traveled trying to work his way out of the trap.
That's a good trap. When you get your chest up against a guy and bump him, it's exactly what the Lakers did.
Robert Ori finds Fisher. Here's his three. And that cuts it to 13.
What appears that the Pacers have them on their heels, and all of a sudden the Lakers come up with a couple of shots that just give them life going into this fourth period, keeping it close.
Miller for three at the other end. It winds up in McKee's hands. 3 seconds left. Perkins backs up, lets it go, and misses it. Well, the Lakers trailed by 13 entering the fourth quarter of Game 7 a week ago at home against Portland. Shaquille O'Neal has owned the fourth quarter through the first two games. Reggie Miller doesn't have a fourth quarter field goal yet in the series, but he has 25 points through 3 in this game.
Remember now, Jalen Rose sat down about the last 2:49 of the third period. Actually got over 10 minutes of actual rest. He will come in. Reggie will get a little bit of a rest. This is his first rest of the game. So it's very important now for the Pacers to keep their offense in rhythm. Jalen Rose is going to have to come right in and score for them so they can bring Reggie back. Reggie can't sit for very long today.
If the Pacers win, numerically, they'll be back in the series. But remember, Kobe Bryant's coming back eventually, and games 6 and 7, if they're played, will both be in Los Angeles. So it's a long hill to climb for the Pacers, but this is where they must start.
When you look at the offense that they have on the floor right now, the Pacers, who's going to score for them?
Derek McKee lost it out of bounds.
Got to be real careful with this lineup right now, Larry Bird. You've got Best out there who played pretty well in the first half, and Jalen Rose, maybe Crozier, but McKee and Perkins are not scorers. They have to really watch this close, Bob.
It's Horry. And it's an 11-point game. Horry has hit all 5 shots he's taken, and he scored 10.
A lot of dribbling here. Clock winding down. Where's he going?
Up in the air to try to deliver it to McKee. It's poked away and they lose it.
This is where Best gets himself in trouble. Over dribbling.
Fisher misses on the run and may have done the Pacers a favor with that quick shot. Here's Jalen Rose for 3. But he can't restore order for Indiana. And the Lakers have a chance to make a push here. They can get it to single digits if they score on this possession.
I don't like the way the Pacers have started this quarter. If the Lakers score here, Bird might think about getting a timeout. They're out of sync right now.
O'Neal out high. Harper returns it to Shaq, who spins to the bucket against Perkins, but it comes up short. Shaq is down, but Harper comes up with a steal and a quick pop. O'Neal then rebounds and is fouled before he can go up.
Just a careless turnover by the Pacers. They finally get the Lakers to miss. Larry Bird cannot like what he's seeing in his team right now. They cannot have those mental lapses that cost him in L.A. Here comes Shaq. He powers inside. Looks like Crozier got a little piece of the ball. Jalen Rose running away from the basketball. Then he loses his shoe. And the foul on Shaquille O'Neal as he will shoot 2 free throws.
He's now 2 of 7 in this game. The Lakers have scored 7 unanswered points. They were down by 18. They now trail by 11. Missed them both.
Not close, and what that does, that sets up the hack-a-shack. If he's not going to make them, look for Bird to foul him.
But do you foul him with a substantial lead?
If you're not scoring down here, you got to be very careful. He makes 1 out of 2. You know, they're going to chip into the lead. You've got to score. And right now, the Pacers, when I talked about to start this quarter, this lineup out that they have right now is struggling.
Best missed. Horry comes back, gives it up to Shaq, but an offensive foul. Has already delivered the pass. He's called for the charge.
We have seen all series that Phil Jackson wants Derek Fisher to play against Travis Best, and they've gotten themselves out of sync here. And this one happens. Now watch this. As Travis Best comes down the floor to see how much time goes off the clock while he dribbles the basketball. Everybody's sort of standing around. He finally has to attack against the clock, gets himself caught up in the air. And he turns the ball over, dribbled the ball 26 times before he turned it over. He's got to do something quickly with it. And right now, a lot of standing around. They've got to attack.
Best against Fisher. Gives it up to Rose, who's guarded by Fox. Reggie Miller back on the floor, but it's Best for 3. And he got a great look at it and put it down.
But did you see how quickly they got into their offense? Rose got it. Best faded away and hit the outside jump shot. That's nice.
Building the lead back to 14. Harper, can he answer? He hits a 3 at the other end.
Ron Harper, you know, shot the 3 at about 30% during the regular season. Going into today's game, he hit 4 out of 8. He was shooting 50% from the 3-point line.
He scored 9 in this game, had a season high of 21 in game 2. Regular season or postseason, that was his high. Here's Jalen Rose, shot clock down to 6. His pass goes through Crozier's hands, and it's picked up by Harper. And he promptly loses it to Best.
Somebody's got to stay back with Harper here. He's all alone.
Sam Perkins with the fake on Horry. Gives it up to Crozier for the dunk.
That's very nice. Playing 4-on-5 right there because Harper was out of the play. You drive that ball to the basket, Shaq comes over, you get a dunk. Once again, they stem the tide. They lead by 13.
Harper, another 3. Not this time. Crozier is alone on the glass.
Where's Reggie? This is his time. He said he wants the ball in the 4th quarter.
Crozier driving and fouled out on the perimeter by Robert Horry.
Got a little 6'11" point guard here creating. You're so concerned about him shooting a three that he breaks you down off the dribble. Then comes Shaq to block the shot, the little kickoff to Austin Crosher. Austin Crosher once again continuing his fine play. 3 straight games now he has in double digits.
Perkins to Rose. He'll shoot the three. It's off and into the hands of Ori.
That's a tired shot there. That's a bailout. You got to attack.
Rose went for the steal, didn't get it. Ori dumps it into Shaq. He's double teamed. He's looking for help. 5 seconds to shoot. Fisher off the fake.
Wow, what a shot there. Shot clock going down. Derek Fisher once again hits the shot. Hanging around, 10 or 11 points. Keeping the pressure on the Pacers to score. Reggie Miller, this is your time. This is what you wanted your home. You got to make some shots.
You called it. He didn't hit it, but he was fouled. And that's an almost automatic 2 points since Reggie is a 91% free throw shooter.
Now this is the Reggie Miller that we normally see. A guy who's coming off the screen with one thing in mind, to be offensive minded, not to be a passer. In LA in game 2, he deferred to Austin Crosher. That time he went up and shot the basketball. That's what he's got to do. Put it in his hands, let him make the plays.
That was Miller's first fourth-quarter point. Shaq, meanwhile, is scoreless to this point after 4.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. Scoreless in this period. O'Neal has 26 points and 9 rebounds. Reggie Miller has 27 now for the Pacers. Rick Fox out to Fisher. O'Neal out of the double to Fox for 3. Crosher comes out, gets a piece of it. Ori tries to flip it back up. And it's out of bounds to Indiana. Let's see. They're not walking that way. And in fact, they will award it to the Lakers.
You can just get a sense that the Pacers are doing a much better job rotating to players than they did in the first 2 games. Starting to get the hang of this double teaming, something they have not done much this year.
Fox back to O'Neal. Around the perimeter, Harper is open. Here's the fake and then the jumper. Ori gives them a fresh 24. Fox backs up for 3.
Oh, offensive rebounds normally mean you can kick that ball out for open shots. You have to remember that play right there, Bob. Instead of the rebound coming down up 13, it's now a 10-point game. Once again, the Lakers hanging close.
Miller along the baseline. He goes tumbling into the row of photographers and gets cozy with official Bernie Fryer. Look who's in attendance at game 3. You know, it's some country when you can find gainful employment doing that. What's up? Well, the Pacers are by 10.
And this is why they're up 10, because they have been attacking in the open court. This hurts the Lakers. They can't get their defense back. They've got them scrambled. First it's Rose, then it's Reggie Miller for 3 as he has them on his heels. Then it's the give and go, the penetration here from Big Sam Perkins to Crosher. Travis Best spots up and hits the 3, so everybody's involved. Good rhythm for the Pacers. You see 4 guys in double figures. Most importantly, Rose and Miller have 46. And you know what? We have not seen Glenn Rice in a long time. He's supposed to be their second option today.
Jalen Rose got free, but couldn't finish it.
Boy, I thought that was goaltending. But again, Glenn Rice, who's supposed to be their second option without Kobe, they have Fox in the game with Harper. I guess they're going with defense instead of offense here.
Harper looking for Shaq. He touch passes it out to Ori. Now Fisher, who hits another big shot for the Lakers.
Well, they're trusting it. Shaq is not trying to force anything. Down to a 7-point game here. At what point in time does Larry Bird look to maybe go back with Mark Jackson here if this continues to close down?
Miller, catch and shoot. It spins out, and Shaq claims the rebound. The Lakers Lakers have made several pushes. They've never gotten any closer than 7. They've drawn to within 7 at least a couple of times, which is where they are now.
Now, Shaq is 2 for 8 from the free throw line, so they cannot let him lay it up. They've got to foul him.
It's Dale Davis on him. He backs him in. He takes the turnaround, and he cuts the lead to 5.
The Lakers are right where they want to be right now. The pressure is on the Pacers here at home. The Lakers have a little bit of a cushion, so right now the edge has to go to them. The Pacers have got to stay sharp. Doing a lot of standing around here, Bob, on their offense. That clock once again winding down on them.
Crozier screens for Best, leaving him alone for 3, and there's your answer.
Wow, they needed that, and Travis Best has hit 2 huge threes. Phil Jackson's going to call a timeout. When I spoke to Reggie Miller yesterday, he said, you know what, we did a pretty good job on Shaq. We made him work, we fouled him, we put him to the line 39 times. He got 40 points, he had his 24 rebounds. But what we couldn't let have happen is for Rice and Harper to get 42 points. We just got to defend these 2 guys. Well, you know what, today they have done that. Glenn Rice is on the bench today, only taking 7 shots. Harper 4 of 12, 7 for 19, 16 points. So if they win, this could be a huge key as to why.
And Rice is scoreless in the second half. Here's another Doug Collins axiom. Bench players generally perform better at home. Travis Best, 14 points on 5 of 6 shooting and a couple of big threes. Here's Robert Horry with Crozier on him. Into the paint for Shaq, and they foul him right away. It's Dale Davis, his 4th. That was only the 2nd Pacer team foul. 4:41 remaining.
Now they have to be very careful here. Dale Davis, we talked about, as their most physical defender. He gets 5. That could really hurt them. Now they've either got to come back with Smith, who struggled, or Perkins.
Shaq out of the double to Fox. Now it's Horry for 3. It spins out into the arms of Miller.
The Pacers will take their chances defending 3-point shots against the Lakers. Even though they can get hot, it sure beats being punished inside by Shaq.
Best spinning around the screen, taking it all away, lofting it over Shaq, no good. And the whistle is blown by Bernie Fryer, and it might be Dale Davis's 5th as he struggled. He was the lone white shirt under the basket, surrounded by Lakers, trying to keep it alive on the offensive glass, and it is, in fact, his 5th foul.
Well, when Dale Davis is in the game and Shaq guards it, he's going to be right underneath the basket. And what happened there, Shaq changed the shot on Best, and then it was great hustle by Davis. He just got a loose ball foul. You can't fault him, but it was his 5th.
Fisher, Miller's got him on a switch. 3 seconds to shoot. Shaq will. How big might this be? Potential 3-point play. The foul is on Best, his 2nd.
You've got to protect Dale Davis. Dale lets him spin baseline. They call that on Best, or do they call that on Dale Davis?
They called it on Best.
Good. That's a break there for the Indiana Pacers, but you can't let him spin baseline, and the traps have to be stronger. But they're too soft with their traps on Shaq.
He's 2 for 9 as that free throw rims out, but that had the potential to be a 3-point play that could have cut it to a 5-point disadvantage for the Lakers and could have fouled Dale Davis out. It was that close.
Where is Reggie Miller? Where is Reggie? This is his time. He has got to score. You can't defer to Austin Crozier.
It is Crozier with the move on Horry. Now Rose, they've got to shoot it. 24-second violation. The basket doesn't count.
Now, Reggie had talked about this was going to be his time. He was going to attack. Well, that time down the floor, he threw the ball inside to Crozier once again. We saw that in the 4th quarter in Game 2. And you can see right here, he's only attempted 1 shot in the 4th quarter. He's now 0 for 7 in the series in the 4th quarter. Remember, he's always said this is Miller time. But right now, Reggie, you're on the spot.
Shaq with 8 on the 24. Out to Harper. Dribbles into the lane. Flips it up and hits it.
What a shot by Harper. Just sort of pirouetted around Austin Crozier. Now Mark Jackson is in the game instead of Travis Best.
This is as close as the Lakers have been in quite some time. They're within 4.
Is fatigue a factor with Rose and Miller? They played heavy minutes. We'll find out.
Jalen Rose missed the jumper, but there was a foul. Fox pleading his case. The foul is on him, his 4th.
All right, 14 fouls. You got to drive it to the basket. No jump shot. If you're Reggie Miller, attack, get something inside, throw your body in there, try to get to the free throw line. Brian Shaw's coming in for Fisher. Why? Because the big lineup is back in for the Indiana Pacers. Jackson and he wants to take away Jackson's post up so they don't have to double team.
This isn't disapproval of what Fisher did at the offensive end. 10 points, 10 assists. Crozier, contact, ball loose. Crozier picks it back up and scores.
Great hustle. Great. He just wanted the basketball, and what a big basket to put him back up 6.
And only a tick or 2 left on the shot clock when he did it. O'Neal. And again, it's a 4-point difference as the clock moves down toward 2 minutes.
The Lakers are scoring easily. The Pacers are having to grind it out right now.
Shaq has 32. Whistle at the other end.
Rick Fox, there a bad foul. You are over the limit, and Reggie comes flying out over a screen, and you grab his arm. Now, Bob, watch this here. Here's Reggie. He's great at doing this. Watch Fox reach out and grab him. You cannot do that. And as you've talked about before, second best free throw shooter in the NBA, this should be an automatic 2 points.
Pacers by 5. Everything in the 4th has been from the line for Reggie. Gets the shooter's roll, and it's a 6-point game. Exactly 2 minutes left. Here's Brian Shaw. His pass is deflected by Miller, stolen by Crozier, but there's a foul.
Who do they call that on? Dale Davis inside? Because that ball was deflected.
It is Davis, and he's done.
Now, who does Larry Bird come back in with? Looks like it's going to be Sam Perkins. So as Smith's gotten foul trouble, we have not seen him. They're going to call the foul right there. That ball is tipped. Indiana would have had the ball under 2 minutes, up 6. Now Shaq has 2 free throws.
Shaq, not such a bad idea tonight. He's 2 for 10.
You know, it reminds me of this series so much of Portland. Dale Davis, who's a great power forward trying to play against Shaq. We saw Brian Grant have to do the same thing, and it really takes away from your game. What a toll it takes on you.
2 for 11.
You got to go
some breathing room for the Pacers, who are in front by 6.
You got to go back to Reggie, who's now being played by Harper. You've got to get him the basketball, and Mark Jackson knows that.
It's Perkins, 7 to shoot. Jackson turns the corner. Lost control, but there was a foul. With 1:29 remaining.
Well, the Lakers did a nice job defensively. Reggie wanted the basketball, but every time he came off a screen, the Lakers were jumping out, switching, so he could not get it. So it wasn't from lack of effort or not wanting the ball in that possession. They just defended it.
The lead stays at 6. Tonight after the game, stay around for a special Sunday episode of Daddy-O. It's the season's #1 new comedy that's moving to NBC Mondays this fall. It'll air on Sunday tonight, right after the game here on NBC.
Now, this is a big free throw. It's a 6-point game right now. This free throw makes it a 3-possession game. Pushes it to 7.
Timeout, Lakers.
Well, Reggie Miller is still looking for his first field goal in the 4th quarter of this series, but it's not from lack of effort. Look at Reggie working for the basketball. This is the possession that I talked about, but the Lakers just will not let him catch it. Running from side to side and eventually will drive that ball in there and get fouled. But Reggie wanted the ball. The Lakers just really defended him. They knew that they had to keep it out of his hands.
Glenn Rice. His jumper is short. The rebound tapped to the side by Crozier and recovered by Rose.
That's pretty tough. Glenn Rice sits there that whole time, and they ask him to come in and get a basket. A lot of questions. Why did Glenn Rice not play in the second half? Was he that bad defensively?
Here's Perkins. This could put the Lakers away. Horry rebounds exactly a minute as he brings it out of the backcourt. Here's Shaq, and Perkins, who has fouls to give personally, that was only his second, immediately fouls him. You could say that Shaq's free throw shooting is at least a big part of the difference in this game. He shot just 2 for 11. Now, you don't expect him to make 9 or 10 out of 11. But if he'd made 5 or 6, the Lakers would be right there.
No question. And you know what? They dodged a big bullet in game 2. Bobby missed 21 free throws in that game. So, I mean, that is a factor, and the Pacers know that. Let's see if Shaq can have some better results here.
Even after making that one, he's 22 of 57. It's only around 38% for the series. Jackson clutches the rebound. 1 of 2 for O'Neal. A 6-point difference, 45 seconds. Jackson dribbling some time away, keeping it away from Harper. 10 on the shot clock as he spins into the lane, off to Crozier. O'Neal with the rebound, and the Lakers still have life.
That would have put it away there. That would have given them an 8-point lead.
They're thinking about a 3 if they can get a good look. Robert Horry lets it go. Could have cut the lead in half. O'Neal rebounds. Harper will try it, and he'll hit it.
Long shots, long rebounds. Reggie just got to hold it here. They're going to foul him.
Well, of course, that's the man the Pacers want at the line.
How often do we talk about offensive rebounding? It leads to wide-open three-point shots. And once again, Shaquille O'Neal with the offensive rebound. He kicks it out, and Ron Harper from like radar right now from that three-point line. He's not shot it well any other place today, but he has made some threes.
Reggie has not missed a foul shot in the series. 16 straight.
It's interesting. Jalen Rose walked over to give him 5 to slap his hand. Reggie wanted no part of it. Leave me alone. I'm concentrating here. This one will give us a 5-point lead if he can knock this one down, is what he's saying. Now he gives him 5. He said, look, he said, I don't want you to mess with my mind. I want to make those free throws. This was the scene that occurred. Reggie Miller at the free throw line. Now he makes the first one to go up 4. Jalen Rose says, you know, give me some on that. Reggie said, no, not right now. Not now. Leave me alone. I want to make this free throw. And so then he walks up after he makes it. He says, now I will. He points to his head, gives him a little tap. He said, I love you, but I needed to make that free throw. I wanted to concentrate. That's a great sight.
Reggie 7 of 7 at the line in the course of scoring 31 points. Shaq 3 of 13 on free throws as he scored 33. They go right to him, and it's over his head. Now with 12 seconds to play, Crozier into Rose. The Lakers have no choice but to foul.
You know, Bob, I always talk about a game like this when a team is down 2-0. Pacers are going to win this game. I always talk about watch their body language. Their coach, Larry Bird, I know what he would do. He would walk off the floor. There wouldn't be much emotion, and he would act like, you know what, this is what we're supposed to do. Let's see if he sent that message to his team here. We got work to do. We got 3 games to win here. This is only one of them.
Well, to make it interesting, to gain respect, to improve the TV ratings, they can win 2 out of 3 here. But to have a truly realistic shot at winning this series, they've got to be the first team since this format came into play in 1985 to sweep all 3 in the middle, because if they go back down 3-2 after winning 2 of 3 here, you got to win games 6 and 7 in LA. with, we presume, Kobe Bryant back. That's a tall order.
Well, that's the big question is, how good will Kobe Bryant be by Wednesday? Will he be healthy enough to play, or are they going to have to go with him on Wednesday night?
11 seconds or so remains in the game. Here's what remains in this series. It appears the Pacers have assured us of a Game 5. Game 4 would be Wednesday, Game 5 Friday. Then the big question, do we go back to Los Angeles?
Well, Indiana played very, very well today, and I really liked their game plan. They came out, they opened the floor, and Rose and Miller got off to great starts, and their team followed.
Glenn Rice looking to get off a quick three, which is short, and then off O'Neal's hands, apparently. And the Pacers will have it to finish up the last 5 seconds and change. Into Miller. They immediately foul him.
Reggie's saying, thanks, Brian. That'll give me 2 more points in the book here tonight. Normally, you think up 7 with 5 seconds to go, you just let the clock burn out. Reggie's going to go to the line, have a couple more free throws. Now, even though he didn't get a field goal in this fourth quarter, he put his stamp on this period. So it looks like he's going to have 8 points all on free throws, but he was active and he was aggressive, and that's what he has to do. There's a lot of different ways to score. Sometimes you can get him at the line, sometimes in the field. Today, he's going to get him from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. There's still 8 points.
If he hits this one, he ties Shaq for game-high honors. This would be his 33rd point. And the Pacers hit the century mark. Brian Shaw, his 3 is the game's last shot, and that's it. Time since Phil Jackson won a game in Indianapolis. Remember, in the '98 Eastern Conference Finals, which went 7, his Bulls lost all 3 games at Market Square Arena, won all 4 games over Larry Bird's Pacers. That was Bird's first year as Indiana's head coach. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. 33 points for Reggie Miller, 8 in the fourth quarter. Reggie, was this game the season? Was this the championship?
Well, no question. If we went down 3-0, you could pretty much have written us off. But we knew they were shorthanded. And it wasn't the real Laker team because Kobe isn't out there, but we needed a gutty effort from everyone, and we got it. I think the key to the game was we got into the game quickly, and we did a good job of moving the basketball with around our offense.
Reggie, you were so effective from the free throw line. You're now 20 for 20 from the free throw line. You haven't scored a basket in the fourth quarter, but you were able to get your confidence back tonight, weren't you?
Well, first of all, way to jinx me for game 4, but I try to concentrate. You know, whenever you play in any series, you got to take as many free points as possible, and I got to concentrate even a little bit more because the way they're guarding me, I don't get a lot of wide open looks and easy looks, so anytime I go to the free throw line, I got to make it money.
Reggie, congratulations.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, over to Ahmad Rashad with Jalen Rose.
All right, thanks, Jim. Playoff basketball, Jalen, adjustment, adjustment, adjustment. You guys made some great adjustments from game 2 to game 3. What are the things that you did?
Well, we did a lot of things. We wanted to get down to Shaq a little bit early and a little bit stronger. And we understand we're a better team at home. We got a lot of guys that feed off of this crowd, and we just get a lot more energy when we play at home. So we understood coming into today's game that today was going to be do or die, and we made it happen.
The difference in your team right at the back, a lot of energy, even the body language is different.
Well, our team plays better at home. That's why we had the best record in the NBA in this building. Our crowd is crazy, and hopefully they'll be the same way in the next game.
All right, Jalen, congratulations on a great game.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Bob.
Ahmad, thanks. Quick wrap-up here. Reggie with the 33 points. Rose had 21. Travis Best scored 14. Shaq had 33 with 13 rebounds.